Have you ever stopped to think about the invisible network that gets, well, everything to your doorstep? Your morning coffee, that lunch you ordered, that package you just had to have. It's all part of what's called urban freight. And honestly, it's the complex, sometimes chaotic, lifeblood of our cities. So today, we're going to crack open the playbook that cities are using to try and make it all a whole lot smarter. Yeah, you're not imagining it, right? You walk outside, and they are everywhere. Double parked, blocking the bike lane, just weaving in and out of traffic. It can feel like a total invasion. And in some ways, it kind of is. But what's really behind this absolute explosion of vehicles on our streets? Well, the root cause is pretty simple, actually. We are just ordering way more stuff online than we ever have before. Every single time you click that Buy Now button, you're setting another package in motion. And all those packages create this massive tidal wave of goods that has to somehow make its way through our already packed city streets. And hey, all those packages, they've got to get a ride. So this boom in online shopping directly translates to more vans, more trucks, and more delivery vehicles all fighting for the exact same very limited space on the road. The result? You guessed it, just gridlock. But it's not just about the traffic jams. More vehicles, especially some of those older diesel ones, means more pollution. We're talking about a real, measurable impact on the air we all breathe and the noise we have to live with every day. So all that amazing convenience we love, yeah, it comes with a pretty big environmental price tag. Okay, so the problem is crystal clear. But here's the good news. Cities aren't just sitting back and reacting anymore. They're actually getting strategic about this. They're putting together a real game plan to tackle this thing head on, trying to move from total chaos to a coordinated, smart approach to city logistics. And they're not doing it alone. They're listening to experts like Dr. Quak, who's a top researcher in this field. His whole philosophy is, all about action. The new idea is to stop getting bogged down in endless planning meetings and just start testing ideas out in the real world to see what works. And this whole approach, it's got a really cool name, the Living Lab. It's a fascinating concept. I mean, think about it. The city itself literally becomes the laboratory. New ideas aren't just stuck on a computer simulation. They're rolled out on our streets with real businesses and real people to see what actually sticks. Now, a living lab isn't just random chaos, right? It follows a really clear process. First, you identify a very specific problem, maybe crazy congestion on one particular street. Then you test out a new solution, like maybe using cargo bikes for deliveries in that area. Then, and this is the important part, you measure everything. Did traffic get better? And finally, you take what you learned from that data and you adapt. It's this constant loop of trying, measuring, and getting better. So what kind of stuff are they actually testing in these living labs? All right, let's look at play number 1 from the game plan. This one's all about the most visible piece of the puzzle, the delivery vehicles themselves. The big idea here is that a one-size-fits-all approach is just, well, it's incredibly inefficient. Think about it. Using a huge van to deliver one tiny envelope, it just makes no sense. This is all about making a smarter choice and matching the vehicle perfectly to the delivery. And you can really see the difference when you put them side by side. On one hand, you've got your standard delivery van. You know the one. It's big, it's noisy, and it's polluting. But on the other hand, look at these smarter options being tested. We're talking about electric cargo bikes for the small stuff or sleek, zero-emission electric vans for the bigger loads. They're way quieter, totally clean, and just so much better at zipping through a packed city. All right, let's get to play number 2. So if the first play was all about the players on the field, the vehicles, this next one is all about the pregame strategy. It's about organizing everything before the packages even get into the city center. The key here is something called an urban consolidation center, or a UCC for short. Just imagine a big warehouse right on the edge of town. So instead of 10 different companies sending 10 half-empty vans downtown, clogging everything up, they all send their stuff to this one spot. There, all the packages get sorted and loaded onto one fully packed, super efficient vehicle for that last, trickiest part of the journey. Now, this all sounds great, but it's not a silver bullet. There are definitely trade-offs. The upsides are obvious, right? Fewer trucks, less traffic, and it's a perfect chance to use those cool, specialized vehicles we just talked about. But then you've got the downsides. It adds a whole extra step, which can add to the cost. And getting all these competing delivery companies to work together, phew, that is a huge, huge challenge. Okay, so we've seen a couple of the main plays cities are running right now. But what's coming next? Because this whole game is constantly changing, and new technology is really starting to push the limits of what we all thought was even possible. And this quote, I think it just perfectly sums up the challenge city planners are facing. Expect the worst, that's facing the reality of more and more packages every year. But implement the best, that's about being proactive and using technology to build a future that actually works for all of us. And trust me, some of this stuff is straight out of a sci-fi movie. I mean, picture it. Little self-driving robots rolling quietly down the sidewalk to drop off your food. Or an AI so powerful it can reroute every single delivery van in a city in real time to avoid one traffic jam. People are even testing out drones that can deliver to your balcony and exploring underground tubes that could whoosh packages right under our feet. And the wildest part, some of this isn't that far away. And really, that's the whole point of this playbook. It doesn't matter if it's a cargo bike, a huge hub, or a delivery drone. The end goal is always the same. It's about taking this chaotic, inefficient mess we have now and turning it into a smart, seamless, and sustainable system that actually makes our cities better places to live. Look, it's a massive challenge, no doubt about it. But it's also packed with some absolutely incredible innovation. This playbook is literally being written as we speak, in real time, on our city streets. So the real question is, what's going to be that next big move? What's the winning play that's going to define the future of how our cities get their stuff?